Alrighty. Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Improper Mimi, where we love to talk about things that empower us at home, work, and play. And today, I think we're going to do a little bit of all of that. I think we're going to chat about just whatever's happening in the world, whatever's happening at home, work, or play. So, I will let my lovely guests introduce themselves to you today so we can all know who we're going to chat with.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mimi.
Oh, yes, good.
So, yes, I'm Kiebpoli Calnek. I use pronouns they, them. I am from New York City, born in the Bronx, grew up in Manhattan, and now I live in Brooklyn. Whoop, whoop.
I too live in Brooklyn, and this is where all the fabulousness begins.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so we met, I would say, with the Black Podcasters Association.
That's right.
And it was like seeing you across the room, and you're just so fabulous, and then I was fabulous, and then we were fabulous, and I think our energy is just so great. And I was like, you know what? We need to do an episode together. Yes.
I love it. And I appreciate it so much. And, podcasting is very new for me. And so when I learned about Black podcasters, I was like, oh, clearly this is where I need to be. These are the people who are going to help me learn what this world is like and just meet everyone. And yes, your energy was so fresh. You just lit up the room, and then you moderated the discussion. That was like fascinating, and the guests were really were just varied and interesting. Yeah. And so I'm really glad that we have this time right now to chat it up.
Exactly. And I know one thing we were chatting about already that we were talking about was something that's kind of going on in the news right now. I don't know, by the time this comes out, we may or may not have already seen a new documentary that is coming to Hulu. That is going to be a documentary about FreakNik. FreakNik. Now, some may ask, what is FreakNik? How would you describe it?
It's
a party. It's a neighborhood block party, not a neighborhood block party because it was really with HBCUs. Right. And my sister went to an HBCU. I didn't go to an HBCU.
I didn't either.
Yes, but so we did not go to FreakNik. Did you go to FreakNik? No. Okay, I didn't go to FreakNik either. So there is no footage of us at FreakNik. But I think that we are here for watching it. Are you think you want to watch this?
Oh, absolutely. I am here for it. I want to know what happened. I want to know. I want to see. I want to feel it. But I'm just really curious about what the spin is going to be.
I know. There's so many different avenues that I'm curious about it. Like there is the documentary, like Woodstock or like the civil rights and like Martin Luther King marching down the street. Like I want to know like what happened that day. Why did it start? How much fun was it? Who performed, what entertainment there was. Mm-hmm. But there's also that special victims unit portion of it that is, right now there's a lot of like Black women who are not wanting this documentary to come out. But we don't hear a lot from, Black men not wanting this documentary to come out. And dare we say, is that because they know there's no repercussions for them, perhaps, in this society today, right? So
absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what it is. With the patriarchy running the show, the men are like, they high five each other. But then they're quick to diminish a woman and very quick to, call them names, disparaging terms, as if they weren't on the other, they weren't an equal partner in the actual FreakNik of it all.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Everybody was a freak up in there. There was no gender, there shouldn't be any separation of gender. Women shouldn't be scared that they're going to be losing their jobs or somebody's going to think they're a hoe or, like, come on now.
Exactly. Like these brothers out here, some of them, not all of them, because I must say, I had to stop watching some of the, because with the announcement that this documentary is coming out, there's been a lot more on Twitter. Like people are posting different. I'm on Twitter too, but I'm not like the cool person on Twitter. Like I follow the NYT obituaries, and I follow like other podcasters, and I follow like mathematical stuff. I don't know. So but I still get some good stuff on Twitter, right? So, but there's been videos popping up of like grainy footage from back then when people had their VHS tapes, right?
Remember those?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, now the videos are coming out. We're going to see what all the hubbubaloo is about. And I had to stop watching some of those videos because it was just kind of triggering, like crowd, like women running through like a parking lot, trying to get away from like dudes. But then there's always these stories of there was one dude, he like kind of blocked the woman from the rest of the crowd, or there was someone who would shout police, and then like the crowd would scatter, and then that person would be safe. So there's definitely all kind of history here that I am interested in, and I think it'd just be interesting to see what light that this documentary is created in. Like, what are they going to show?
I'm so curious. Thank you for sharing that, because I don't watch television. I just somehow barely am attached to this human existence. So I'm so glad to hear that there were some men who were trying to protect women, because that is not the narrative that I feel like I see every day, unfortunately. Just the opposite. I am so, I don't even know where to begin. I really feel, and I think where I do know where to begin. I think when I think about Black men whom I love, I love my father. I love Black men. So I'm just going to start there.
They're all right.
Right. They're okay. They're good. But I do feel that in the trans community, cis Black men are the first ones who are engaging in relationships with Black trans women. And then for whatever reason, their own shame, maybe somebody spotted them, whatever happens, they felt they were lied to, or this woman is dead. And I just don't know what these men are thinking about, or like who is raising them, or like why they just go south. And then what's that other thing? High value women or high value men, or some wacky determinations of who deserves whom.
What? No. Tell me about this. I'm living under a rock. What high value?
I don't really know, because this is in the cis world. I'm very homosexual. I'm very gender expansive. I do not hang around many straight people. I don't hang around many men. They don't interest me that much. I mean, I love them, but I don't need to like hang out with them.
Right. Because they don't always have, like their senses about them.
They really don't. So in FreakNik, I just wonder. High value.
Then I'm high value. Like,
absolutely,
we're gonna set our own value. Of course, we're high value.
That part. Who is setting these values? Who is saying who is higher than another person? But it just feels like, are some women scared that they're going to lose their job or something? When the FreakNik talk comes out, because we're not supposed to be sexual beings. Like, we're not allowed to be full rounded individuals with needs, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm quite sure if we look at some CEOs, some white CEOs who maybe did summers in Lake Winnipesaukee or something. I don't know. Georgia's Lake George, right? I live in New York now, so I have to know like the spots that people go to. I don't know if Lake George is one of those. I have not been there, but I'm sure that these, these white, CEOs have gone to these, they've grown up and they've had mommy or daddy like either sweep things under the rug for them, like mistakes that they had growing up, or activities that they've had, that they participated in. I mean, I went to Miami Carnival every single year, probably from maybe 94 to, I don't know, 2000. Well, that's a long time. That's not that long of a time, but you get what I'm saying. Like I've got some pictures.
Did you feel safe with the men there? Because I don't feel safe with straight men, to be honest. I'm just waiting for them to touch me inappropriately, to say something real dumb.
Yeah.
To make it seem like I can't do anything. Help me. Like, that's not me. Move over.
I think my head is always on a swivel around men. And I think that, like catcalling, a lot of people will say that it's a compliment, and I don't feel safe with it. I don't consider it a compliment. It's a compliment if you're like, hey sis, how you doing? You look good today. Okay, thank you. Keep it moving.
Right.
It's another thing when someone steps in front of you and they start talking, and I'm always have an earbud in my ear. I may not be listening to anything, but I'd be like, I can't hear you. I'm gone. Or I'll just give you like a dead stare look, like, and just keep moving. But yeah, it's not comfortable or flattering for someone to block your path or to follow you, complimenting you. That's not, to me, comfortable or a compliment. So, I mean, to some extent, I guess I'm kind of bold and daring where I'll go anywhere and kind of feel safe, but I'm always have my head on a swivel because, like kind of for that reason that I think someone is going to approach me, grab me or something, so, and it may not happen that often, where someone's like physically like blocking you or barricading you or something. Or in the instance for like carnival, it is very much kind of like a mob mentality, kind of not merely mob mentality, because, I know lots of people with different Caribbean heritage and there is certainly, I think, a way that parades and festivals occur that is celebrating and everyone's used to it. And this is, yes, we're all having fun. And then I think they're like, for instance, for FreakNik, and as it got to be towards the end of it, more harassment and there's needed to be, and again, this is coming from people who were not there, but from what I've seen and heard and understand of the festivities, it could get rowdy, and unsafe at times.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure there was alcohol involved. Maybe there were some drugs involved. Who knows? But people, near the end of the party, people, anything's possible.
That's why you gotta leave the party early. But that's not always, a safe avenue. I've, even talking about where it gets a little rowdy and unsafe, like even sexual assault, it can happen anytime, any place, anywhere. You could be at a Super Bowl party and someone could offer to give you a ride home. And then you're like, I know you know you. You must be okay. It could be anything. Anything can happen anytime, anywhere. It's just, but yeah,
truly
constantly keeping heads on swivels when around different people.
That's so disappointing. I just really feel like because the society treats men to a different standard, that there are no repercussions, or the repercussions are very slight. And I think that's across race. So let's just be really clear. I think this is definitely like a gendered kind of thing. But that's an issue. And it's so interesting. Like so I just said I'm not really hanging out with men. But I was in New Orleans. Have you ever been there?
Oh, I have. I've been there once, and it was best thing ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Happy birthday, Mike.
So I've been there once, twice, and the first time I was there for like a month. So I got to spend some time there.
Yeah.
Honey, I wanted to be the mayor. There was a rain event that happened, and I was screaming at the politicians through the, I was very invested in the community already after being there a week.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, I don't know what it is, but the Black men there, they are the kindest, most respectful. I wasn't fearful of I'm going to say something that, I'm not recommending people do.
Okay, that's all right. It's
got-
improper. It's improper, maybe. It's okay.
And I go on vibes. I'm half a century year old, so I have.
Hey, looking good. Hey.
So I obviously I'm taking care of myself. I'm not trying to unalive myself in that way. So I hopped in some dude's car. He was we were just, I don't even know what happened. He was like, let me take you to the best place that sells the best lobster roll, or I don't even know what he said. And I was like, okay,
yeah, it worked.
I can't even tell you, this man was such a gentleman.
Nice.
And that's what gives me hope. Like,
right.
there are beautiful humans out there. There's beautiful men out there.
Absolutely.
And the ones that are messing it up for you, they are messing it up for you. Collect your men.
That's right.
Protect your women. Protect people who need protection.
Exactly.
Black trans women need protection. They need love. They, need care. And if you have a friend that is saying some disparaging things and that ain't right, please speak up.
It starts with you. It really does. And this is the things we teach our kids, right? We teach them, if you don't got something nice to say, don't say anything at all. We encourage them to ask questions. We try to tell them the truth, but it starts with you. So exactly, when you see someone harming or harassing or treating someone ill, it doesn't matter, who they are, what their heritage is from, where they're from or anything like that. We want you to treat everyone with respect. And check your brothers, right? We love our Black men, and we want you to check your brothers.
Yes. Oh my goodness! I was just I love the theater. I'm a theater person.
We get to go to some shows.
We do. I just saw Fat Ham. Did you see Fat Ham?
It's on my list. Yes.
Please go see it.
Yes.
It is so brilliant.
Oh wow!
It's very, very well done on many different levels.
Yeah.
I went to a special evening where there was a talk back with the playwright and the director, and it was really special. And so we were sitting at these tables, and apparently I had sat down in a place where some man was sitting before, but I didn't know that because there was nothing on the chair, and there was no indication that any human was at this table. So we just sat down, right?
Yeah.
So when he came back, he wanted to sit down, and I was like, okay, no, I'm sitting here, right? And then he's like, points to his bag, and he like points like really close to my face, and I remember like looking at his finger, and I like pick up his bag, and I'm like, here you go.
Oh.
Right? And his friend, this woman, starts kind of yelling at me like, I can't believe you're so rude, and you're not going to get up, and we were here, and...
I'm sorry.
Exactly. No.
And
let me tell you, this white man who we were sitting at the table with, I went with a friend of mine, defended me.
Oh, yes.
And was like, lady, no. And man who was sitting there, but nobody knew you were sitting there because your bag wasn't even on the chair. It was like hidden under the table.
Who does that?
Like, no,
right.
This is not okay. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, wait a minute. Is the world changing? Wait a minute. Is this progress?
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Because, it could have been a racial thing. It could have been a sex thing. It could have been a gender thing. We could have gone all the directions. Right. But it was just like, what you're saying is wrong. This person is right. We are all witnesses.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Take a seat, lady.
Yeah.
And I thank you. I just want to, I don't know your name, sir, but I want to thank you because I sometimes lose faith in humanity. When I see the news through social media or however I'm getting the news through my friends, I'm fearful for what's happening, in terms of, so much anti-Blackness, so much anti-trans legislation, so much, all the things. So, in small ways, we are connecting and realizing that we're like a big village, y'all.
Man, it don't get more villagey than this. I mean, we're living in the same neighborhoods, same grocery stores, We may have different things in our grocery stores, but that's a whole nother topic.
Right.
We all want healthy food and vegetables and stuff like that in all of our grocery stores, easily accessible. We need that good food. But the intersectionality of, like we say, trans, race, gender, it just, everything's connected. Everything is connected, so when I see people forming these lines or barriers against each other, it's like, I don't know what you're doing, because at the end of the day, we're all facing the same, facing the same thing at the end of the day.
Right.
Whether it's waking up and breathing some pollution.
Oh my gosh.
Walking through the New York subway and rats running over your feet, Okay.
Subway? You mean just on the sidewalk? This city has turned into Rat City. Yo, I'd be screaming walking down the sidewalk. Sometimes I have to walk in the middle of the road.
Oh my goodness. Exactly. And it doesn't matter if you're a white celebrity or a Black celebrity or, a trans teacher, or if you are a, cis Black male who teaches karate on the weekend. We're all living on the same earth, impacted by the same thing. So we need to be a little more considerate, I think, of each other.
We do. Yeah. And you know what I'm also learning? And, I have to be, I'm sure everybody has their own, the way this impacts them, but I have to check my ableism. Every day I'm like, oh gosh, I'm thinking so narrow. And of course I can't think of something specific at this moment.
Elevators in the subway. Okay, I'm out of breath climbing the stairs. God forbid there's someone who has a walker or someone who's in a wheelchair. If that elevator is you can't even get off at the stop you want. You got to go up 2 stops, go upstairs, take a bus, come back. I mean, that's just one example, of ableism, hearing impaired. And these are things that are becoming more, known to me, because I was watching The Circle. So shout out to, the crew on The Circle, watching Sam and, everyone else, because, I follow Sam. So I'm glad she won. Yes. But one of the ladies on the show was hearing impaired. And so she had an interpreter with her, and it was straight fire. I loved it. I loved, because and with so many things we've been talking about, whether or not you have kids, whether or not you're trans, whether or not you're hearing impaired, there's so much more to us as humans than these boxes that people put us into. So to see her personality, and she still was hot and spicy and serving it up and everything. And, her interpreter was her voice, but I love seeing the ASL. I love seeing other people trying to learn, some ASL. So
yeah, we should take that in school. It's actually it's a shame that we don't get to learn that in school.
Yeah.
I feel like identities are important. I think that whoever said whatever philosopher from Greek or whatever, we have to learn about them people. Know thyself. Sure, yes, absolutely. I think there's this process as we age and mature where we are trying to find our way in the world and who we are and what our purpose is and who am I, and I'm a Black trans masculine gender expansive you know what I mean, female bodied, AFAB, you could, there's all the things we could say, but that shouldn't disconnect us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That shouldn't, like you said, put us in boxes. Yeah. That's just one little definition. That's just a little something, something.
Exactly. Because you're also an Aries, right?
I am not. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh my goodness. See, and that's okay, because
what were you gonna say?
I don't know what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say we have different houses and signs and stuff, and we don't have to be conformed to one thing.
So you want to hear something out there in podcast land? I'm having a wonderful time engaging with Mimi. We're just chatting it up, having a little, wine and cheese before we get on to, recording. And I was like, do you know what your rising sign is? Do you know what your moon sign is? Maybe you didn't know.
I had no clue.
But I was like, I'm feeling Aries. Honey. I did all the calculations. Yes. And I was right. Yes.
That's right.
Hello. I'm feeling it. You can feel that fire.
Knows, I know who to go to now when I forget what my rising is.
Right.
So I am Scorpio.
Yes.
And my moon is Aries. It is Aries.
Yes.
Yes. And I have something with don't tell me. Fire. I have no earth in me.
You don't have any earth.
I don't have any earth.
But you're Aquarius rising.
Aquarius rising. Which it should make sense because I have all these Aquarius around me, like the February people, right? They're Aquarius. Yes.
Meow, meow. Yes, we are quite lovely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can't imagine my life without the Aquarius. Especially, my dad is not an Aquarius. No. He's a Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Look at that, Jack. You didn't even know. Jack don't know. But I'm telling you, you're a Pisces.
So, you know what I learned today? I learned that you're a bicycle person, and I don't think I knew that when, we bumped into each other out and about.
Yes, I know. I think you're right. I think when I saw you at one of the street festivals and you had your bike, I was like, yes, I love my bikes. I have two. One's named Trina. And Trina is my around the way girl. We go all over the city. We go grocery shopping. We got some panniers on the side so I could bring my groceries home. And then we have Max. Max is a racer. Max and I go up mountains.
I love it.
Except I haven't done that in a long time and I'm out of shape. So Max is on the trainer right now to get me back in shape so I can go up a mountain and go 100 miles if it's flat. We don't, I don't want to go you know what I want to do? What I'm also scared of doing?
Tell me.
I want to bike up Bear Mountain.
That's where people ski down. You want to bike up?
Yes. I mean, when I first moved to New York, okay, so biking, another advocacy thing, right? Another thing that is disparities around bike lanes and the city and everything. But everybody bikes. Some bike because they have to, and it's their job, couriers and delivery, personnel, and others bike, like Max. I try to keep up with people on Max and they're thinking they're professional racers. And I'm just like, I'm coming. I'm on my way. But where is I going with the bike thing? I don't know. But yes, I love bikes. We love bikes. When I first moved to New York.
Tell me.
So when I first moved to New York, that was one way that I really connected with people. And that's how I explored the city. You get to see it on a bike. You get to this is where I am and this connects to that. And definitely riding down Second Ave, kicking a cab, it doesn't get more exciting than that.
Yes. Wow. I love this. I feel like I grew up and there were not women biking. And even now, I don't know any Black women who are biking. And yes, I'm on the internet. I do follow some people here and there, but
we don't get you with some Black women biking.
Mimi, now that I know, you have no idea. I've been trying to look for a bike date. We haven't even talked about dating, but that's like my dream. My dream date is a bike date. That is so amazing to me. And, I grew up cycling. My father was a cyclist.
Oh, yeah.
And I still have my teenage bike.
Hey.
I've never had a bike stolen. I treat them very well.
That is good. Yes.
Yeah, because I can't afford a new one.
It is traumatizing, too. It's such a violation.
Oof, I couldn't even imagine.
Sad.
But just what you were saying, when I was in college, I went to City College. That was the second university I went to. I didn't have no money, so I had to commute on my bicycle. I didn't have a token. We were using tokens back then.
I remember tokens in the New York subway.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't have tokens, and now I love commuting. I love riding down Bedford Avenue and then going over the Williamsburg Bridge.
Oh, the bridge that doesn't end. It goes up both ways. That's the. Have you noticed that? It goes up both ways. Like you're constantly breaking.
I guess so. I just love it so much. I just riding my bike. I think I wouldn't have made it through the panini without my bike. Because that was the way we could isolate, but still be free
and get outside.
So I would tell my friends, let's ride our bikes to. We would ride to Reese Beach.
Oh,
so we would go to the beach, and my friends were like, "I've never done this before. This is the longest bike ride I've ever had." I'm like, "It's flat, y'all. It's flat." And then we end at the beach, so we just take off our clothes and jump in the water. It's like a whole thing.
I love it.
And it was magical. It really, really was a special
feels
time.
So free. It is wonderful to be outside, feel like a kid again, to like have the wind go through your hair, you know. And for me, it's like endurance. People talk about, you're doing this, you're doing that. How do you have time for anything? And I'm like, well, you have to make time for yourself. Biking is one of those things that I enjoy, and it pushes me. I feel like you're always improving. Like there's always something you can. Maybe I'm just very competitive. I don't know, but I compete against myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, yes, I want to. Let's see if I could go around Prospect Park, without like my breathing getting interrupted when you're going up that hill, But yeah, oh man. And when you talk about Bedford Ave, like even from the way down in the beginning, you got to come up that hill. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So
trying to beat the lights.
Much.
So you don't have to stop at the top of the hill and be like,
Right. I did circus for like 10 years. I taught my own aerial class.
Excuse me.
I'm a former aerialist. I did Coeur d'Alene, which is single rope.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I was showing off my muscles, actually.
Ooh, I don't have any muscles. I need some to pull. I can't even pull myself up on a tree.
It's okay. On it. You like climbing trees?
I can't.
You're like, I just told you, Kiebpoli, I can't pull myself.
I can't climb a tree. Oh,
wow. What was I going to say about that? Oh, something about when I was. Oh, right. So 2020, the year that kept on giving, I learned at the end of 2020 that I have this birth defect. I know. So I need a total hip replacement. So I know it's wild. And so I can actually cycle better than I can walk.
Oh my.
For distances, right?
Yeah.
And so.
Oh, hell yeah.
I do everything on a bike. I was like trying to I was like, how do we make our legs wheels? And I was like, it's called a wheelchair kit. I think it's already been invented.
Or a unicycle.
Right, exactly. But I was really like, just trying to find different mobility ways, to get around and mobility. Gosh, there was some other point I was trying to make, and it just like escaped me.
We were challenging ourselves going up Bedford Ave, the hill, and then you were in the circus.
Right.
And you were doing aerials.
Right. I think it was just talking about just having this hip dysplasia and having no cartilage in my hip. And so, the biking being easier to walk. Oh, I know where I was going with this. So there were so many protests that were happening.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Black Lives Matters, marches. Can't really march when your hip don't work and you can't really walk. So I discovered the bike march. Or,
I wonder if we were on one of those bike rides together. Was there one? Because I remember one bike protest I was in. We rode over. Were we on FDR or the Brooklyn Bridge? I think we took over the car lane. Like we were like, we're not going to be on the bike path. We're taking over the road, and we rode right over the bridge and just took it over where the cars are.
That so much. That is so powerful. I've never been a marshal, but I just feel like maybe I should learn.
You can do
I'm
it.
Really kind of badass. I
you
yell
would
at
love
cars.
It. Yeah.
I grew up in these streets.
Right. Exactly. So we're going to get a little bikey here, right? So when you cork an intersection, you basically are blocking that intersection with your body and your bike, and so other cars can't come through. It's so empowering, and it helps to protect the cyclists who are riding.
Right.
We're going to do some bike rides.
I am excited. So am I. Ooh, that's my energy. Oh, I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
See? And then we were talking about biking and even ableism, and like that is, I've noticed that even with runners, once their knees go, they're cycling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look
So
at that.
when you can't run no more, you ride a bike. And now we know you can ride a bike easily.
Yes,
That's
yes.
helpful.
I have a single gear, a mono speed, a Bianchi that an ex-boyfriend gave me. Yeah, a million years ago when I was dating men.
That's okay, because I like that Bianchi.
Yo, and she's it's a cuss, and so they don't make them anymore. So I just learned that. I know, and I didn't have. It was a gift, and so sometimes I think people see the bike and they're like, "Oh, look at that, privilege." And I was like, "No." My whole life is mutual aid. When I learned about that concept and I really thought about it, I was like, the nicest things that I have in my life are gifts.
Nice. Yeah.
Or just, or a trade, or just I saw it on the street and I cleaned it up, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for everything that I have.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. And that's just the gift that keeps giving. It's like the universe knows what we need and it will provide.
So how come I'm single? What's up with that? Hey. Come on.
Well, maybe universe. Maybe your single person who's there for you is getting their stuff together so then they can be just right and ready for you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, that works. I mean, there's nothing worse than taking tide me overs until the right one comes. I mean, we could do it, but it's not fun. Yeah. And I absolutely, commend and, sometimes it's a hard choice to let the little snacks, keep going by because we want a main meal or we made a main course, but I mean, you can't, sustain yourself on snacks alone.
I know.
Although we had a lot of snacks.
I want a few snacks. I like snacks.
Snacks are great.
Snacks are amazing.
I like snacks.
So I guess I find snacks in, I do go to play parties. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
Party? It sounds like a party.
It is a party.
Where you get to play.
Yeah. You get to play in sexual ways, or usually it's like kink ways. It's not like sex.
So you get to play out.
Yeah. It's just places where, adults get together and perhaps there's impact play, or perhaps there's, which could be like flogging or spanking or, that kind of thing. Or or people like to get dressed up and wear their leather gear, or there's fetish and, people are in latex or, this can be its own podcast, actually.
It's going to be a part 2. No.
Yeah, I think that's where I get my snack. Well, once upon a time, y'all. I've been very home alone. That was like a very, I don't want to say easy way, but it was a way where if I didn't want to engage with somebody and be in a relationship or have to answer to somebody or anything. I mean, I love humans a little, once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not in a relationship.
Because you don't like people?
I don't know if I really like people. I really don't know. I've been struggling with humanity more and more.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's random acts of kindness where it just warms my soul. And I'm like, there is no division between gender or race or class or any, we're all this. And then there's other times where I'm like, trauma.
It's like, what is going on right now? Yeah.
So, so play parties are really easy. And also I feel safe, just to circle back to FreakNik. I don't know what type of safety measures. Were there people who were there to protect the scene? Because whatever, and we're in the kink world. If there's a scene, we've agreed on certain boundaries and parameters and safe words and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then there's people who are watching us, and if then something goes
I love
south,
it.
they heard that, they will break it up in a quickness.
Yes.
They will escort you away and
Yeah.
out. So I feel safe in those situations.
Right.
I don't know if I feel safe sometimes even like going on a date.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you just hear horror stories, and which is kind of sad. And I like to say I'm visibly gender expansive because I don't think you can even really see it on this
a little profile.
Oh, it's profile.
Little page. There I can see.
I have a little goatee, which I love so much. I've always had it, but because of society and like the ridiculous rules that some white man made up and everybody followed, women have to remove the hair from their face and armpits and legs and, all kinds of.
Wow.
Please. Yeah. Can't tell me nothing. I'm just so lucky that my Scorpio father let me be the person that I am. He never imposed anything. I'm an only child. He would have been happy if I was a boy, a girl, or anything in between. And, he loves me. So I am not like whatever. I'm just my own person. Right. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Your own fabulous person. You are.
So here I am, and so people, and now I put in my own extensions. So sometimes I look more feminine than I typically look, y'all. I typically look very different. Maybe we should do another podcast where I look in my other way. Very gender fluid, right?
Yeah.
So I get attention from men, cis heterosexual men, because duh, like babe, right?
Hottie.
But then they kind of keep looking. I'm athletic. I'm muscular. I walk with a swagger. I don't minimize myself that women I think are trained to do. I got a little peach fuzz on my lip. I got my gorgeous goatee. And then, they were like, "Hey, baby," and then you could just see like the disgust, kind of like
the cloud,
the
going
click,
over,
and then
there,
the cloud, and then they want to then they get brolic and they're like act like they want to beat me up, and I'm like, "Do you want to fight me or or freak me?"
Like, which is it? Because
right, and don't let your insecurity threaten my life or my happiness.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing for me, because, no one should have to feel threatened or unsafe. And these activities that we all do, like dating, going to a restaurant, walking down the street, and I have like some trans friends that it is dangerous. It is concerning of, well, what is going to happen, or is this person's reaction going to be a different reaction or whatever? And so, so for me, it's like everyone should be safe. Sex workers. I know people who are sex workers, and it is a job. It's an occupation. It's not something for us to think down or talk down to them about, and definitely not something that shouldn't have any rules or regulation around, because they deserve to be safe too. You know what I'm saying? So, again, who's making the rules? Who's making the decisions? It's usually a cis white male. And whether they partake in some of these intersectionalities or not, it seems like, yes, when push comes to shove, then they want to back up, block up, and be like, "Oh, no, we can't do this. That's wrong." We were saying like even a lot of the news lately may be to take away from like gun violence and stuff like that. So it's like everything is calculated, everything's connected, and it's like if we just kept the same like peace and love across, then we would protect everyone who needs to be protected. I don't need an AK-47. I don't need an automatic rifle. I do like to go to a shooting range though, and I think I could probably hit some targets, pretty good, but I don't need all this extra stuff. I mean, For what reason? It's just dangerous.
I've never done that. I should try that. I think I might release something in me. I might. I don't know. I don't know about firearms. I never really grew up around that. That feels very unsafe in many different ways to me. I would love to learn how to, like, what is that called? A lance or a boomerang or a, what is that thing where there's like a ball and like
the
sling, like a slingshot, something where you like throw a rock and it just knocks you out. Give me some prehistoric. Give me some. No, I'm serious. Like,
I mean, we could take up. There's archery. Do you know there's archery over here in Brooklyn?
I do know.
Yes,
that.
Archery is one of the old school like survival techniques, but it's
Exactly.
also skills. And I love that you're learning a new skill. It's competitive. Hit the bullseye, or hurt your finger when you pull back because you didn't hold it the right way. But you learn different things. You can fix that. These are things that are fixable.
Right.
But yeah, I think if with any of these sports or weapons, because I mean a lot of these sports are weapons, but with any of these, it's education. Like you say, you didn't grow up around guns. It's not familiar, and I think that's also like where some of the danger comes in. Like guns are on the street, illegal guns on the street. A lot of these guys don't know how to shoot, how to hit a target, and that's why you're missing people and hitting the wrong people. Not to say that you should be hitting the right people that you're trying to get, but there's no like education or safety around it, and that I think is what we need. I remember this safety class I took in Atlanta. It was so much fun. It was an outdoor shooting range, and I vividly remember the teacher talking about it's protecting yourself. It's you against them. So when you're doing defensive training, you can't think about, I don't want to, hurt somebody. No, this person is coming to hurt you. So the training that you're doing is teaching you how to safely handle your weapon, how to safely protect yourself, and to protect those that you love around you too. So.
Interesting. Okay, I gotta do some more. I gotta think about that some more.
I mean, and I know people who've gone through like the gun safety training, and they don't own a gun. They don't carry a gun. They don't anticipate using it. But I like to say, like in a rainy, worst case scenario, at least the safety do's and don'ts. If you see one at a friend's house and the kids are around, be like, oh no, don't touch this. You gotta hold it down, make sure it's empty. Just safety.
No, I think that's actually, you know what? The more you talk about it, like I agree with you. I think that those are kind of like some basic knowledge that we all should know, right? Just I believe that everybody should go through a basic training.
Yeah.
I don't believe in war. I don't believe in the art. I'm not interested in all of that. But I do feel like there could be like some base level of strength and knowledge and tips and tricks. And just like you're saying, like we all can just kind of start at. It doesn't have to be like some special forces kind of thing and just those special people.
Everybody out here can't be John Wick, okay? Because that's not realistic, okay? But, and the same with finances. It's like arm yourself to, know money, to understand money. Money makes the world go round, kind of, sort of, And like you're talking about war, violence, and politics, like all of this stuff. Like, I don't know everything in great detail, but I know a little bit about a lot of little things, So, yeah.
But let me ask you. I feel that historically in the Black community, we don't get that knowledge, and I don't have any financial. I'm an artist. I know so very little, and I'm not proud of that. And I do try to educate myself. And like I think I was sharing that I like literally live on the fringe of humanity. So Like I barely know what a 401k is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know an IRA. Like I don't know what these things actually are. I kind of sort of know-ish. I've been a creative my entire life. I'm very FUBU. If you don't know what that is, that's for us, by us. Right. I'm not waiting for some white organization to fucking swoop, excuse my language. Excuse me. Beep. I'm not waiting for an organization. I'm not waiting for somebody else to come in and do the thing for me. I'm very, I was telling Mimi earlier, I'm a terrible employee. So yeah, I don't even know what point I'm making now. I'm just.
Sometimes we have to employ ourselves and we have to have the financial knowledge to do that, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Because entrepreneurship is a hard thing too. I know people who've quit the corporate job and started, working on their own or hustling and doing, no matter what, you always got to do what you got to do to make ends meet. Right. And so, but it is not easy owning your own company.
It isn't.
I mean, you gotta fight for the contracts. You gotta get the, the grants. You gotta get the clients, the customers. You gotta, whether it's a product or a service. Even as a creative, you gotta be creative.
Absolutely. When I was running my own business, teaching the aerial classes, I had a lot of success. I was in, magazines and newspapers, and people were doing little mini docs around me, and because I was a Black person doing circus, and
That's
were
amazing.
Back in the day, and there were not many of us. I was Black Acrobat. That was the name of my company, because I was gonna, I was very clear who you were hiring. But I kind of went under, in a sense. Not really. I mean, I will live forever, but because I was the only one teaching.
And I bet you, did it exhaust you? Were you burnt out?
I was burnt out, and I wasn't doing my own training, and I wasn't doing my own experimentation and play. I was just teaching, which is wonderful. And I feel like there's a whole generation of aerialists that I was able to help shape. And now there's Black aerialists everywhere. It is amazing. It's so wonderful to see.
Yeah. I would love to see some Black aerialists.
Oh yeah, they're out there. We out here.
I want to see, because I know, like, even a few like drag shows and burlesque shows that I've gone to, and just seeing the creativity and the shows that they put on. I'm like, that's fabulous. I want to do that. I want to do everything. Everything I see, I want to do.
Good, and that's how it should be. We should be.
How can I do that?
As Black women, and I do still consider myself a woman. It's like a title, just like I call myself a mom. Like it's like a wonderful title I accept. Sure.
Job accepted.
Yes, I love being.
And
I
then
love
they
my
go
kid.
on, grow and go, grow and go.
We should be allowed to have moments of pleasure like that, where we can just do whatever the heck we want to do, instead of being always the nurturers or the providers or the, I feel like whenever I look at a video and it's like one of those feel good videos, it's like some Black woman like helped some freaking little kid. You know what I mean? Like it's always us, bringing up humanity, but yet we're at the bottom of the barrel. Like it's disgusting. Like it actually boggles my mind. And I'm wearing a decolonize t-shirt.
Yes.
Because I feel like we all have to like decolonize our mind, like scrub how we've been conditioned.
Don't make me cry now. Don't make me cry. Those self-limiting beliefs and thoughts, those are the things that, I mean, they're ingrained and beat into us through society, through media. Like it is a real like activity for your mind to erase that and to let yourself be free and allow yourself to enjoy things around you. We deserve it.
We do. And I really, there's an organization, Rest for Resistance. I love that so much.
I'm going to have to look them up. I'm going to find the link and I'm going to put it down here so everybody can find it. Rest for Resistance.
Yes, that's so powerful. beautiful.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I don't have to show up with my fist raised to let you know that I'm a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
I could take a nap. I could lie down.
You know, I used to think naps were of the devil.
Who told you that?
There's something to do. There's always something to do. Like, what are you doing? What you can be doing something.
Some
You have to be
slavery shit of stuff.
Mhm.
Beep. Yeah.
That's okay, because I took a nap. And I work from home now, so I could take a nap sometimes during the day.
So fascinating. That panini really changed up society. We were able to stay at home, change the energy around our work cycles, and realize we could actually do stuff from home in comfort of our own surroundings.
You mean I don't have to be up 24 hours a day? I mean, I still only get like 6 hours of sleep, but that's good for me. That is an improvement. That is an improvement.
That's good. I get less than you. Yeah, I don't sleep anymore. No. No, that's a whole nother thing. I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to come back to that one. Yeah. We need to take care of ourselves. We do, and I do.
You do. Yes.
Half a century, y'all.
I'm waiting to get there, and I got some work to do. I don't know. I put on some pounds, for the last couple of years, but that's okay. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I love it.
Yes. The pounds come on, the pounds come off. Mm-hmm. I'm all about a fupa. I am not mad. I'm so body positive that when people hang out with me, they all of a sudden are not wearing clothes. I'm like, exactly. Clothes. We've been conditioned to wear clothes.
Like a nude beach. Clothes are so constricting.
Yeah.
It's so constricting.
And again, I think that because women tend to feel unsafe every day because of men who somehow don't know how to control themselves. Like, come on, like, really, what's wrong with y'all? Yeah. Like, I actually am concerned.
They can't even control themselves and not pee on the side of the street. You can't wait till you get home to go to the bathroom?
So I love a compliment, right? I think, and you were sharing this earlier, but you don't need to leer at me. You don't need to continue complimenting me. When I say thank you and I keep it moving, you should keep it moving too.
That's the cue. Yep, that's the cue.
If someone's not returning your energy, why are you going to force them? Yeah. What are you trying to prove? Are you that insecure?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You look like a fool, like an imbecile. No, it's like, it really boggles my mind because it's literally the opposite of, I think, of how some men think they're presenting.
Yeah. I don't know because, and my thought process is also that there must be a reason or something that they went through, not excusing it because that doesn't mean that you can bring it down on me, but there's some reason, like what is wrong with them? Yes, something is wrong that they think that this behavior is going to yield a positive reaction to them. Half the time, like if I smile and keep it moving, the smile is just so you don't get too upset. And I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. And then I just keep it moving, because I don't know, yeah.
And this isn't the first time we've had this conversation. I'm sure the audience has heard this conversation before. Men have heard this conversation, but I don't know if the needle is actually moving. And it really fascinates me. It saddens me. Yeah. And I have a son who's very heterosexual. It was very clear from when he was born, when he was a toddler, like it's just very clear, right? Which is wonderful. But like my father and the men that I know and love, he is sensitive. He loves his mama. Nice. You know what I mean? He's tender. Yeah. His friends come out to him. Like that is a special individual where people can feel safe enough to come out to you. Like that's how I think men are and should be.
Exactly.
Right? Right. So when you feel like you have to be a different kind of way and decolonize, y'all. It's okay. It's okay to be tender. It's okay to be gender expansive. It's okay to not resort to violence to prove something. You can prove it in a poem.
Thank you. Yes. A nice poem or a piece of artwork or a chocolate flourless cake. If you know how to cook. Yeah.
If some dude like came up to me and dropped a few bars about me, I just might become bi. No, probably not. But maybe I would.
Right,
You
you
know
keep
what I mean?
spitting that lyrics, and you're like, okay, nice. What else you got there? What else you got? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, Kiebpoli, I am so glad that we did this, that you were able to come over. Y'all see that we get to vibe and chill together. No split screen.
Hey. You are amazing, Mimi. This has been so special. I love you as well.
We're going to have so much fun. I can't wait for the bike ride. And apparently we're going to go dancing too.
Honey. And I guess I need to tell you about these play parties also.
I think so. I think I might like to know about them. Yeah. I'm all about rules and organization. So.
Boundaries. Right? Consent.
I'm all about boundaries. Yes, boundaries and consent.
Very important, y'all.
I'm learning something new. Okay, yes. Well, everybody, thank you again for listening to Improper Mimi, where we talk about things that empower us at home, work, and play. And I'm sure we're going to have some great takeaways from today. I want to hear your comments. Let us know what you think about it. We definitely had us a good time. We had us a real good time.
Oh,
so let's be, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but but again, be sure to share your stories and keep, being positive. And listen, make sure your bros check your bros. All right.
For sure. Yes. And reach out. If you want to reach out to me, I'm at Kiebpoli on all platforms.
And how do you spell that, Kiebpoli?
You spell it Kiebpoli.
I love it. That's like word porn right there. Like when I realized how you spelled your name, I was like, I love how you spell your name.
Yes. It's it's an African name from Burkina Faso, country in West Africa. And it means a reflection of the moon on the water.
That is specific.
Yes.
I like that.
Words are beautiful.
Oh, yes. I love it. Well, yes, you can find Kiebpoli everywhere. Where did you just say?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You can find Kiebpoli everywhere. And I will definitely have your info below. And we will be looking forward to keeping in touch with everybody.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.